Hello lovely Flosstube friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren, also known as Cross Stitch Bunny here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Today is the 1st of November and I am back with my stitchy roundup for the month of October. So we are going to look at 7 lovely projects that I worked on over the last month. Some are spooky, some are not. I've kind of missed the Halloween bandwagon for a Halloween episode, but it has been the half-term holidays. The kids have been keeping us incredibly busy, but yes, there are a couple of spooky bits in my stitching and then just some other normal WIPs that I worked on. I started the month of October with 33 WIPs and I have had 3 new starts, which took me to 36, but one of those starts was also a finish. So I've ended the month of October on 35 WIPs. Before we look at the stitching, I will just tell you what else you can expect in this episode. So we have a 0 haul, absolutely 0. I have not had a spendy month, so that is good. I do have a few bits to show you from my shop that are new things in the shop, and that will also involve a little giveaway, so hopefully that is exciting. And then I also have a few plans for next year, which I touched on in my last episode, but I've kind of thought a little bit more about those plans. So we will get started with the stitching first, and we will start with my start and finish. If I can find which bag I've put it in. I don't know which bag I've put it in. I slipped it into one of my other project bags because it was very little. I found it. So this is the Mill Hill Bewitching pumpkin and it is all finished. This is the first time I have showed it on Flosstube, because when I filmed my last episode, this was not even a start. It wasn't even a start, but now it is a finish. It is not fully finished. I have cut it out and I have added the little beaded hanger, but the back is still showing all my stitching mess because I have not felt backed it yet. So this does need to be made an FFO, but I am so pleased with it. I love this pumpkin. It has the cute little charm here. I really enjoyed stitching this. So obviously I started this so that I could have a small Halloween project that I would hopefully finish in time for Halloween, which I did. And it is, as I said, the Mill Hill Bewitching pumpkin ornament. So this is available as a complete kit, which is what I used to stitch it. I did quite a bit of work on this before I went to the Floss Friends retreat. I had already started it and then I carried on stitching it while I was there, and this was the project that gave me my first ever retreat finish, which was really lovely. I've never finished anything at any retreat, but at the Floss Friends retreat especially, they have a little bell that you can ring when you finish a project at the retreat, and I've wanted to ring that bell for a few years. So that was lovely. It was absolutely lovely to go up and ring the bell on my little Mill Hill ornament. So that is my start and finish. Next is the sort of first spooky WIP that I pulled out in October. So it's not exactly Halloween themed, but it does have spooky vibes. This is the Lola Deadly Aquarium. And I just thought it would be nice to pull out and make a little bit of progress on it in the month of October, and hopefully compared to last time you will be able to see a little bit of a difference. This is where I'm currently at. So this was originally a Lola Crow Sal, the Deadly Aquarium. I completely missed that boat, but I've been enjoying working on it just as a project and think it's coming together really nicely and really well. I am tracking this in Pattern Keeper, but I have failed to bring down my book with any statistics, so I'm not sure how far along I am in terms of percentage, but it is coming together nicely. I'm very pleased and I love this guy. I love him. I think I've said it before, but he reminds me a little bit of the Zero Ghost dog in Nightmare Before Christmas. I know that it isn't him, but it does remind me of him. So that is where we are at with this. I think I'm stitching this in Royal Broidery. Again, I've not got my book of notes. The kids are still on half term and it is a Saturday afternoon. And I realised that I'd not brought the book into the quiet of the bedroom with me, and I could not be bothered to go back to the living room to retrieve it, because then I'd probably have an entourage trying to get back to this room. So we are winging it today, unfortunately, without any notes. But I do believe that this is being stitched in Royal Broidery, and I am stitching it on a 36 count print from my Stitch Bunny shop. I think it might be the Overcast Sky print. Again, not 100% sure without my notes, but it's like a very pale mottled grey. So that is the Aquarium. I'm going to put them back in the bag as I go along. We're going to be sensible today. Oh, actually got my threads in here. And I am correct, most of them are Royal Broidery, but it looks like I am also stitching in DMC. I have a mixture. So yes, mostly Royal Broidery and also some DMC in that one. So what's the next WIP? I've not put them in any sort of order today whatsoever. We'll just see which bag I pick up next. Aha, it's my chicken bag from Susie. Love this bag. So in my chicken bag, I have a very festive new start. Now see, even my new starts and my WIPs are mixed up today. Usually I do them like finishers, then new starts, then WIPs, but we are just looking at anything and everything today. And this one I have the picture for. So this is the Nordic Snowman. It is from the Jim Shaw collection by Mill Hill. Yeah, there is a code as well, like next to his name, but he's the Nordic Snowman. Everything that I needed was obviously in this little packet because it is a kit. And this is how far I have got so far. So we have a lot of, not white, but sort of ecru. I think there's a lot of ecru in this pattern. So we've got a lot of ecru stitching. I've got some bright red up here. I wanted to work from the top down, but then at the same time, I wanted to be careful with the red, because I sometimes find if I do red stitching first, then when I do other stitches of other colours near to the red, it pulls the red colour through and can be sort of fluffy around my paler stitches, which I don't like. So yeah, I sort of had a top start, I think, but I concentrated on doing these lighter bits first. I've done a little bit of the red. But then after I started on the red is when I had that thought, and I was like, actually, I think I'm going to work on all of the light colours first. So then I counted down, and yeah, my plan is to just continue doing all of the light colours first, and then I will go back to the red and finish all those details at the end. So yeah, this is my lovely Mill Hill Nordic Snowman on perforated paper in my magnet frame. I'm really enjoying that. I cannot wait to work on him more as Christmas becomes more of a focus now that Halloween is behind us. So next up we have another new start. So I started this a little later than intended. I had really thought that I would start it earlier, but it didn't happen. This is the Wordy Bird's October, which I absolutely love. I have really enjoyed stitching the Wordy Bird series this year. It is coming to an end, so I have 2 patterns left to stitch in the series. This is one of them, and then I only have December remaining once this is finished. Considering that I started this sort of at the back end of October, I think I have done rather well. So this is where I am currently at. I started off with the writing, like I had a centre star, I worked on the writing, I went up, I did some of the fun Halloweeny motifs and the lovely blackbird, and then I tackled all the black in this bottom border and just got all of that like sort of boring black done, and I started to fill it in with the colour. This is what I was stitching on last night, so this was my actual Halloween Halloween Day project. After we had trick-or-treated and the kids were all happy and settled, I worked on this a little last night. And just because Halloween's over, this is not going into any kind of timeout. I am going to endeavour to get it finished as soon as I can so that I can tick it off the WIP pile and start December, because I really have been so pleased with myself for keeping on top of the Wordy Bird sal, and I want to end the year with all of them finished, and then I can look to start fully finishing them. My plan to fully finish all of these, now that I've almost got to the end of the series, is quite simple. I just want to back them all onto some foam core board like this, put some sort of nice fabric on the back. I might do like a pom-pom trim around them, and I just want them to be able to be like changed out. And I found, I hope, the perfect sort of display wooden box for them that I think my mum has bought me for Christmas. I sent her the link. Yeah, it was a really pretty sort of display box, and I checked the measurements would fit. It is a self-assemble it and paint it and stuff kind of thing from 123 Stitch, so I think it will arrive flat packed and then it will have to be assembled and painted so that it looks nice. But yes, it has like a space where I can hopefully seasonally swap out the pieces, either on magnets or Velcro. I would have to either put magnets on the back of each piece or Velcro so they can be changed out on the display box. And then the display box has like a little tray at the front that you could potentially put other little seasonal decorations in. So yeah, really looking forward to being able to display these in 2026. Yeah, not sure that I will get the January one up immediately for the beginning of the month, because yes, the display needs to be painted and sorted first. But hopefully before January is over, I will have it organised and actually be able to display these, which will be lovely. I am stitching this on a 32 count. I have done all of the Wordy Birds on 32 count. This is a Zweigart fabric, I believe. Again, I've not got notes. I think it's called graphite or graphene. It's a bit of a strange colour. It's sort of not grey and also not brown. It's hard to describe, but I think it looks good with this project. I sort of just kept it simple. Some of my Wordy Birds have been on very jazzy, very detailed background fabrics. I just went very simple for this one. I have my box here so I can check what I'm using. This is DMC, all of it. So yes, I'm stitching this one purely with DMC, which is good. Sorry, this one doesn't really fit in its bag very well. It's always a struggle. It's only in a small bag. There we go. Oh, I love this one. So looking at a bit of wintry stitching. I haven't done an awful lot on this since last time you saw it, but there has been some progress. So this is the Animals in Sweaters series by Mika Stitch. Off the top of my head, hopefully I am correct. If I'm not, I will correct myself on screen, but I think it is Mika Stitch. They are on Etsy, and this is where I am at. Just check I'm the right way up. I am. This is where I am at. And I absolutely love this. I am not leaving the back stitch till the end. And you can see that I have been putting in some of those backstitch details. Oh, and I just love him. I love this fox. I love all of the animals in this series, some more than others, but yeah, the fox is one of my favourites. I like them all, but I do have a few that are particularly favourites of mine, the fox being one of them, the goose being another, but I just love this whole series of animals. I am stitching this one again on another Zweigart fabric. This is the splash fabric in the grey one, whatever they call the grey one. I've not got my notes, but it's the splash effect fabric, and I believe this is a 32 count. But next time you see it, I will confirm that for certain, because I will remember to bring my notes. I am stitching this in, I'm not sure what threads I'm stitching this one in. I've put them all on a thread card, and I don't have my notes. Yeah, I think it's DMC. But yes, Foxy is looking good, even though he's not got a face yet. Still definitely looking extremely fox-like, and I've got one of my favourite needle minders on here, which is my little fox holding a mushroom. So that is Fox in a sweater. He is in my Foxy WIP bag, which I love, from my Stitch Bunny shop. Oh, I've then got this one, which is very random for the time of year and not at all seasonal, but it just sort of called to me, and I decided that it needed a bit of love. So I've just taken the threads out so I can show you the chart more easily, because I've got them in the chart bag. So this is Filigram's Carrot Cake. It's got all the little bunnies and like a cake and loads of sort of cooking utensils, very cute. And this is all being stitched in the called for fancy flossers. I don't think there's any DMC in this. So yeah, all fancy flossers, which are not looking very fancy. Yeah, they're all looking a bit of a mess, but they are lovely to work with, beautiful colours. And I've done quite a bit of work on this since the last time you saw it. It comes together fairly quickly because it is not a particularly big design. So this is how we are looking. All the writing is complete on the top row. I've started doing the borders, which are done in like this variegated green. And I've started working on some of the little flowers. And we have a bunny minder. He is so cute. So yes, this is Carrot Cake. I'm stitching this on an Ada, not sure what count. I think it's either 16 or 18 count Ada, and it's just like a very sort of beige colour. It's very similar to the colour of like raw linen. It is a colour very similar to raw linen, and of course my battery just died, had to change it, and that is because this floss tube was not planned. I honestly did not think that I would get time to film it today. I had not prepped, I had not charged anything. What actually happened is I was sat stitching and having a nice afternoon, thinking I was going to get loads of stitches into my Winter Woods project, which I was really hoping to give speed to a finish on it this month, and now I've had to put it in a naughty timeout because I was doing the border. And you know when you're stitching a border and then the unthinkable happens and it isn't going to join up. And it was even worse than that because I had checked as I rounded the corner, like I'd followed the holes with my needle. I was like, is my border going to join up? And I was like, yes, I've done it right. It's going to join up. And then I got all the way along the border, and the border is sort of solid stitches, skip a hole, solid stitches, skip, and so on. And I got to the end of it and I was like, this isn't going to be right. And it matches up as in its level, but then I have made a mistake at the far end of the border. At each corner of the border there are 2 spaces, and then you go into the columns and spaces and columns and spaces, and in that one corner of the border I had only left 1 space instead of 2 spaces, and therefore all the columns I've done are wrong. And there is no way to fudge it unless I want it to be different to the other 3 borders, because there are 3 identical boxes all with the same border. And of course, yes, I'm not going to do that. They have to be right, they have to match. But I had to walk away from the project. I haven't frogged it yet. I put it away and I was so annoyed with myself. I was not in the mood to pick up any other stitching. So I was like, well, instead of stitchy time, I will sneak off and do some filming time. Yes, so that is why we are so unorganised. I honestly didn't think that I would film until Monday. I thought I would just wait and be a few days late once the kids were back in school. But my stitching this afternoon has not gone to plan whatsoever. I think I picked it up and did about 40 minutes finishing that bottom border before realising it is not finished. It all needs unpicking and redoing. So yes, I have about 40 minutes worth of stitching to unpick, which could be worse. It could be a lot more terrible than that. But right now I'm just still not very pleased about it. So yes, right. last project. I do feel like I have flown through these today. This is the 7th project we are looking at, and it is the Letistitch Curious Tiger Kit, full coverage, but not a huge full coverage. So this is my lovely tiger pattern. This has been on the go for quite some time. I think this was either a 2021 or a 2022 start, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely getting on a bit. And I really do enjoy stitching on it. It has the most beautiful colours, and I really do just want to have it finished. So I think I've just knocked my needle off. I'll have to look for that in a minute. I'm not going to take it out of the frame because it is all set up where I want it to stitch on, but hopefully you can see a difference. So this is where we are at, and hopefully you can see that where the frame is here, I'm not covering up really any of the tiger, it's just some of the border sort of background bit that is hidden under that hoop, and this is what my tiger is looking like. I'll give you a bit of a manual close-up on him. And I just think he is looking fabulous. I wanted to move the nurge down because I'm working on this in a number 4 nurge hoop, so the largest nurge, and it is just about big enough but not quite. And what I needed to do is fill in all of the gaps that were sort of anywhere in the top bit, so that I could move it up. And now hopefully I have moved it enough that it never needs to be moved again until it is finished. So yeah, like I did a lot of filling in up here. There were just loads of bits because I have not sort of worked box by box. So I was filling in all the little odd stitches, confetti. This side is like looking very solid. There is more to do on this side, but I worked my way down enough so that the frame could be moved. And I've just been filling in lots of bits. Also, because I'd moved the frame down, I was able to work on some more of the blue here and extend it further down. But yeah, I'm very pleased with how this is coming together at this point, and I'm definitely over halfway. I'm stitching this on the 16 count sort of gridded fabric that came with the project, but it is a very light grid. It's not like the blue lines, it's sort of very pale. And I know we've already zoomed in on him a lot, but honestly, I don't even think you see the grid because it is such a pale grid on the fabric. So I don't even need to worry about that. Don't really need to worry about it coming out, because you can't even see it. You cannot even see it, not even through the lighter stitches with the grid being so pale. So yeah, absolutely love this so much. I'm not sure what threads I'm using. Did it tell us? Anchor. I'm using anchor threads for this. Which all just come in the kit on these like super long floss bobbins. Now I'm just going to disappear for a minute while I search for the needle that I'm pretty sure I knocked off. When I was pulling this out of its bag, I caught the needle and dragged it off. I'm hoping that it's in the bag. The needle was found very quickly. Yeah, I just dragged it off because when I pulled the project, it like caught on the front of the bag and I just like dragged and ripped the needle off the needle minder, but it's all fine. I have found it. So that is all of my stitching to share with you. As I said, we have no haul today, but I do still have a couple of bits to show you because I've just done a new needle minder release on the website. I have added 9 new designs to the collection, so I'm going to give you a little peek at those. They are available now. Some of you have already bought some and they will be on their way tomorrow. I think all the outstanding orders with these will be posted out tomorrow. So the first 2 that I have added are obviously now a little bit behind their season, but that has not stopped quite a few of my ghosts from finding homes. So we have the lovely glitter pumpkin ghost on like a glittery background. And then we have the magical stitch spell book, which is really, really cute with like an embroidered or cross-stitched star on the front of it. And yeah, it just looks all magical and lovely. I know that many of you stitch spooky things year round. So yeah, those are my 2 new spooky magical additions to the shop. And next are the winter editions. So 2 new designs for this coming winter and Christmas season. Got the beautiful owl on the blue glitter, who is like just very wintry, so any winter projects would suit him. And then we've got the lovely pink gingerbread house surrounded by pink glitter. I absolutely love this one. I have kept one of those for myself. So yeah, those are the winter minders. And I've then introduced a new little selection of sort of stitchy sentiment minders, because everyone always seems to like those ones, and some of my older ones I have sold out of, and rather than reprint them, I thought I would do some new designs. And yeah, all of these stitchy sentiment ones I have designed myself, so I do hope you like them. So yes, we have the cross stitch is my therapy, and then we have the it's not hoarding if it's cross stitch stash. I feel that both of these do apply to me and probably to a lot of other people. So those are the first two sort of stitchy sentiments. We then have a sampler queen minder for those of you that love stitching samplers, and we have the stitching is a way of life, not a hobby, although the other way around, stitching is not a hobby, it's a way of life. And that is on like a floral background. And then there's some little bobbins with thread down here. And this is a stitchy sentiment that I already previously had in another sort of background version. And it's one of the ones that I had completely run out of, and I just decided to sort of put it on a new background for something new, although the sentiment is the same. And then the very last one, and I do love this one, I loved designing this one. This is Stitchy Friends Are the Best. Badger, little fox, and the little hedgehog in the middle holding his hoop. And the badger has the scissors, and the fox has the bobbin. It's hard for me to remember who was holding what, and I can't see it very well on the camera in front of me. But yeah, 3 stitchy woodland friends with all their stitchy goodies. So yes, those, I don't know that I can hold them all up together. I will try. So those are the, I have to do them in groups, aren't I? Can I manage it? I'm not sure. I'll try. Here, I think I've managed it. Yeah, so those are the 9 new designs, and as I said, they are all on the website now, but if you would like to win a couple of them, I would like to do a little giveaway because I've not done one for a while. So if you comment below and make sure to include the words needle minder, so your comment needs to have needle minder in it. And yes, you, if you are picked as the winner, can pick whichever 2 you want. So any 2 from the 9 new releases, and I will post them to you. It is open to anyone. If you are abroad, I will send them marked as a gift so that hopefully you won't incur any sort of customs arrival fees. But yeah, the value of 2 of them is a low value item anyway, so I shouldn't think that there would be any fees. So yes, comment below. Remember to include the words needle and minder. That is what I will search for to find a winner, and the winner will be announced in my next Flosstube episode. And I cannot guarantee exactly when that will be. Yes, because I may film in 2 weeks if I have enough to show you, or I may continue to just be filming monthly for the time being. But it will be drawn whenever my next episode is. It will not be sooner than the middle of November. It could be the end of November. So I would advise that you get your comments in the next like 2 weeks, in the first 2 weeks that this video is live, to make sure that you are entered and that you don't miss it. Please be over 18 to enter. I will need to ask for your address, and please make sure that you are liked, subscribed and supporting my channel. I was going to go through plans, but I've decided we are going to shelve that. We will do that in November's Stitchy Roundup, simply because I haven't brought my notebook with me, and I think that it will be difficult to go through my plans without my list of plans. Most of them are up here in my head. but I would rather have the notebook with me. So yes, we will save that for next time. I think something to look forward to, getting excited for 2026 planning. Not too much life update for you. I have had a busy week the last week with the kids on half term. Those of you that watched my Flosstube extra that I did recently will know that we had some bad news earlier in this month. Yes, where one of my little doggies, my oldest girl, passed away. So we're not going to dwell on that at all today because I have already mentioned it, but just for those of you that haven't watched my Flosstube extra, yes, that happened. So that was a bit miserable. But yeah, we've just been having loads of fun that is focused around the kids over the last week, and I have loved it. We've done various Halloween outings. They've carved their pumpkins. We did trick or treating. Yeah, they've had a wonderful week. The weather hasn't been wonderful, but we've also done some indoor crafty bits. So they've done like painting of Halloween ornaments and stuff like that. I think we've done a couple of other indoor bits as well, although I forget, but yeah, we've done the running around and going out on days where we could. We've done the trick-or-treating, we've done crafting, we've done Halloween sort of spooky-ish movies. They watched Nightmare Before Christmas for the first time this October, which they really enjoyed. They enjoyed it so much they asked to watch it again the following day, so they've now watched it twice, which brings me a lot of joy because I love that movie. So I'm glad that they are now sort of old enough to watch it, appreciate it and enjoy it, and we can now watch it every year because it is one of my favourites. Yeah, I think that is about everything. That about sums up my October nicely. And I'm pushing my luck with this video. It is a miracle that nobody has run in to find me at this point. So we will quit while we are ahead. I will see you in my next episode, and don't forget to enter the giveaway. And 2 of these lovely minders, we're just going to stack them because I've given up on trying to display them all nicely. Yes, if you want to win any of these lovely minders, which are now all trying to snap together, don't forget your entries into the draw. Take care everybody, happy stitching, and I will see you relatively soon. Goodbye.